Hey guys, this is Wiley Y here again with my map overviews for Counter-Strike Global Offensive Beta. This map right here is the Nuke, a map I used to love, but they've made a few critical changes which have altered the map itself, in my opinion. And if I'm honest, I don't think they've improved it. So yeah. Anyway, quickly going through this. CT spawn is all the same. I say all the same a lot, I know. These kind of sniping boxes have changed. They've changed in size, but you can still snipe that angle. Nothing too drastic. This area has changed as well. You no longer have the kind of ramp that you do over here always around. You have a railing, so I know they aren't going to implement bunny hopping or anything like that. You can still kind of do it, but you're not really going to gain speed. So, although probably somebody will find a way of doing it. But you're not going to get that boost always around like you used to. Now I'm going to go up inside before, and then I'm going to go around and out. So under crows, it hasn't changed. The windows though have changed. They're a bit more awkward to see out with the shiny effects and things like that. But the difference is when you shoot them, they completely disappear. Unlike the source version where they kind of just like had this little kind of one bit disappeared and they all just kind of cracked and splinters and things like that. So it makes seeing people a bit easier after they shoot. All the kind of dark areas are slightly brighter as well. The entrances, like I'll show you in a second, but the entrance for crows is slightly wider, and the railing around the thing, not that that's going to make much of a difference. But these kind of corners are still the same. They're still there. The yellow's still there. All that's still there. Headshot box is still there, and these boxes are still there. Although the headshot box and these boxes have changed. You can still get up on these boxes from the front. You can get up from here as well off the railing. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think you can get up in yellow, or not yellow, but the light. It's too far of a jump. I haven't tried it much. So those boxes have changed slightly. Nothing too major. Headshot box has changed though. It's no longer really a headshot box. You can stand behind here and not get shot. Except you can get shot through it, but you're not going to get a headshot at one shot from an AK. They have provided you additional cover with this little box here, so when you're peeking you can have a tiny bit of cover, but that doesn't make much of a difference from this angle. As you can see, you can peek this angle as well, but which is kind of more I prefer, because it's a tighter angle and makes it a bit easier to not get hit. These entrances are a little bit wider. From my recollection, they're slightly wider in all this kind of areas, but easier to run through. The kind of curved wall is still there. Radio room is pretty much the same, except they've added some junk here which could be removed and we won't miss it. Here's hoping they remove it. Lobby is practically the same except for these generator things, which I'll come to in a second. Sandbags is there, it's still the same guys, except maybe, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Squeaky room is the same. Squeaky is slightly different though. I'll come back to that. I'll do it now while I'm here. Squeaky is different. It does squeak still, as you can hear, but the difference is it won't reclose after it's open, so you have to manually reclose it if you want the extra cover. However, there is a difference. Squeaky still is spammable in the sense that you can still fire through it and it still does damage, but there is one difference. Squeaky gets damaged. As you can see through it now, and you can fire through those gaps and holes. Now you can, if you throw a grenade, completely destroy this door completely. So it just leaves a big massive gap. I'm not entirely sure if I like that. But yeah, one big difference to lobby is these generators. You can't, as you can see, there's Squeaky in the background. You can't pick through this kind of gap anymore. And conversely, then when the door Squeaky gets open from CT, gives you that little bit of extra time when if you're watching ramp to just turn and shoot him. Now you can also hide in here as well. I don't know if I like that. I haven't played enough to go give an opinion on it too much, because for some reason the main maps that are played in the beta are Aztec and Dust 2, but we'll come to them later. Hut is pretty much the same. You still can get out the window. Oh, can you? No, you can't. As I said, I haven't played much, guys, so bear with me here. You can still get up on the hut. Their yellow kind of forklift now has moved from that spot to here. which provides additional cover for watching what's called hut and things like that, which is a bitch. That is an absolute bitch, because head blends in that general area when they're crouched. It is a bitch, because especially if you're coming out peeking for crows, which is like where most people are playing, you don't really out of peripheral vision going to see that as easy as you would, let's say, if it wasn't there. They've added these giant barrels instead of the little boxes, which I used to love because they gave you enough cover, but they gave you the risk factor, the risk and reward factor. So now it makes it really easy to plant the bomb here, because you can't get shot from hut unless they really come out. You can't get shot from main, but you can get shot from crows. The skylight flashes and things are still there, if I recall correctly. The vents are still there, and we're going to go outside before we go lower. The main is still there, it's still pretty much the same. Outside has changed though. That's just a visual change, it's just a colour change really more than anything else. The roof is identical except the vent. I'll explain the vent in a second, because I'm going to show you the vents in a second. And T-spawn's pretty much the same, so we won't bother going down there. You can still bounce smokes and things off that wall. These boxes have changed. They've still got that little risk gap when you come out. It's a bit bigger this time, which makes it opening from Mac even easier. This whole kind of red thing is the same, except for these boxes have changed. And for the first time, if I'm correct, you can get up on this red kind of box here and shoot that way. Now, gay spot is the same. This box over here has changed. It's smaller. These boxes have been moved around slightly, nothing too major. The sandbags are still there, and the gay spots are all still there. There's no barrels there, as you can see, anymore. The biggest change right here is the back steps to lower. I'm not a fan of this change. I think it was a valid option for terrorists, and it gave them an extra kind of route to a different bomb site. So taking a route away from them makes this map slightly even more CT sided, in my opinion, because it just ruins it. So I'm going to go down the ramp room, and I'm going to show you the lower bomb site. Dropping down from ramp is identical pretty much. The gay spots are still here, dark spot. The lower bomb site has changed though. Because there's no back steps, there's no back vents, and then there's no toxic, which is a shame. In my opinion, I liked toxic, and I liked the kind of crossfire I used to get, because this side is pretty easy for the CTs to retake. So having even one less area for the terrorists to sit is a bit shit. The toxic barrel here provides even more coverage, even if you're just sitting here and there's a guy gay spawn, there's a guy up there, it gives you even more coverage. Just like Squeaky, these doors are breakable. They will break eventually. You can open them as well, and they stay open. Bit of kind of deformation, which is a bit odd. It does it from both angles. Anyway, the windows are the same as under crows, except they break the same, and they give you the same amount of visibility. I'm pretty sure they break anyway. Now I'm gonna go back up onto the vents to show you the vents. The vents have changed. Unlike the source version, and I think they're the same as the 1.6 version, you have to crouch when you're inside them. Like if I stand up here now, I can't walk down that way. I have to crouch when I'm inside them to get around. I don't have to hold crouch when I'm moving, but I have to press crouch to get in and out of them. Just the same as if I go up here, I have to press crouch to get in and out. Which means vent dives and things like that aren't valid tactics anymore. There's probably going to be a way of doing them, but it's just going to be a little bit harder. And that's the same for the vent up there on T-roof. So guys, that pretty much wraps up this overview of the nuke. I hope you guys enjoy these videos, and the next video I'm going to do should be Dust 2. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.